Okay, so this is gonna be kind of a video, I guess, on why you should just quit with over abusing certain weapons, and I guess the the modded community. I've been modded for about a year now, and how do I put it's been quite the experience, I have to say, first of all, because these things can be good, but they'll get you into a lot of trouble. So I joined this game with about half the lobby was players I knew to be good and competed in with scrims, stuff having to do like that. In this particular game, I'm with a couple of them, and then a couple of them are on the other team. The game before this, which was the one that I joined first, they were all on the other team. I started off, whenever I saw them, I got a little freaked out because it's been a while since I played. So I turned on mods, put on EE4, had Lion's Roar. When I switched over to EE3, wasn't as good. These guys were all using EE3, a couple using EE4, and one using some crap weapons. Anyway, that doesn't matter. It matters whenever I got towards the end of this and turned off my mods and switched over to pulse cannon and DH-17 with explosive shot. Many people can call this cheap simply because there's a pulse cannon in the hand and explosive shot, and DH-17 is considered an okay weapon. I don't consider this a kind of a exploiting hand, I guess you could say, because this weapon is good enough to only have a few shots with explosive shot until overheat, unlike the A280C, and pulse cannon is only exploitable whenever you're good at it. I would not say I have it perfected. I would say I'm nearly good at it. I just need a little bit more practice. Either way, it's not as cheap as using mods. This whole entire gameplay that you were watching here on Indoor, no mods, simply skill and just in-game abilities. Pulse cannon, you can see I had quite a bit, and I like right there some really good parts with it, and then might end up dying, or I'll just keep going. And DH-17, you'll see me get a lot of kills. I don't have it out as much, but it's a good weapon to get a fair amount of kills on. It's like E11 or I'm tempted to say A280C. It's not one of those like amazingly good weapons, but it's also not too shabby. Alright, here had some sort of kill. That's DH-17. One tactic I like to use, which I don't consider cheap, and I bet a few people would disagree with me, but I bet you money that quite a few more don't consider it cheap, and that would be drop shot. I have a modded controller that has that ability to where I just I press my paddle and it drops me to the floor and prone position in some games. This game you can't prone, so it just drops to crouch. Still works. You drop, they don't know where you go. When I use DH-17, I don't ever use this mod. I've kind of grown used to doing it by myself, just pressing circle and crouching. Anyway, I get quite a few, like, but 1/3 of my games, 1/3 of the kills in my game are DH-17 with the drop shot idea, where I just drop in front of them, keep shooting, and they don't know where I went other than to the ground. That's my basic idea. So I'm gonna kind of commentary over the gameplay. Before this, I don't know if towards the beginning of the game, Lelinko was in this round. He obviously left. If you look at the leaderboard, sometime in there. Not sure. I can't see it from where I'm recording right now, but I'm not sure if he's left yet or not. He leaves in the middle of the game. I messaged him last game, before the one before this, which I joined. I didn't do the greatest. I was the only one positive on the team, and I had about a 2.0 KD ratio, and they had about a 3 or a 4, 2, 3 or 4. And I joined mid-game, which, you know, score was okay for who I was playing against. Their full team was people that were, you know, played scrims and stuff. I had 1 or 2 good people on my team. I want to point them out because they were very helpful. But we also ended up winning too, which we kind of just brought in a cargo box and defended the whole rest of the time. Anyway, after that game, I messaged Lelinko kind of teasingly. That was easier than it should have been, or I thought it would have been. It was, to be quite honest with you. These guys, most of them come from a modding background or in just using mods in general. And he goes, yeah, LA thought I was using mods. And I want to point out here is that Lelinko, he was not doing too well this game. And using mods in a context as like they're bad, I get it. But so many people have them and abuse them that it's to a point where if you have mods, it's not mandatory, but you have them, nobody cares because most of the people are leveled up in this game, and most of the people you play against, if they don't have mods, they have the ability to play, like, to be considered a modder. And so there's really no reason to like point them out like that and picture them in a bad way. But then again, I can see where you would want to. Obviously, Lelinko was not using mods. No offense to him, but I will kind of want to point out where I'm seeing, like, people think I mod with other weapons. You can see, you know my hand, you know, in this gameplay here, you know my hand, you see it, you see the weapon I'm using. Not sure why. See, the mods I use, rapid fire, and I have a different type of rapid fire for each particular weapon. Rapid fire, anti-recoil only if I'm using SE14C. And then, let's see, for, I have used drop shot before, but not normally. And those are really the only mods that I have used in Battlefront, because my mod pack is a strike pack, and it's not as good as a Cronus. But it was cheaper, and it does its job for the weapons and the things I need it to do. So with those mods, rapid fire would be the only one I really ever use. And looking at this weapon, which is a fully automatic DH-17 blaster pistol, not sure why you would want to use mods on this weapon. I've gotten messages before pointing out that I'm a modder, and I say, well, yes I am, but I wasn't using mods that round. You sure? Because you were doing too good with that pulse cannon. Okay. Rapid fire and pulse cannon also doesn't quite work as well as you think it would. Because pulse cannon, you have to hold the trigger down, and when you're using a rapid fire mod which spams the trigger, that doesn't work. Also, anti-recoil, you would see in this gameplay, which I don't have on. There were no mods used in this gameplay. Anti-recoil, if you see me charging up that pulse cannon, you would see the pulse cannon attempting to move down, and even if I was trying to keep it from doing so, you would still see it kind of jolting down. So there's obviously no anti-recoil being used here on a weapon that some would say you could use it on because it's a fully automatic weapon. I'm not using it. I have a pulse cannon. There's no reason to. This is one of my main hands. If I'm using pulse cannon, there's a DH-17 with it, and that was a nice kill, by the way. The pulse cannon is a very strong weapon. It also takes skill to use, not mods. That pulse cannon, if you walk with it, it's not. People say you can use mods to keep it from going to the side, yada yada yada, and these are normally uneducated people with mods. Not that they're uneducated, just uneducated with mods. And you see a lot of this. Oh, they're good with that pulse cannon and they're modders. They've banned pulse cannon from Scrim community because they say several have said that people can mod with the pulse cannon, which makes it no good and too overpowered. Obviously, there's no modding that you can see of what I've told you with this pulse cannon. It's just pure skill, and you know, I've kind of gotten used to it since I've used it so much. It's one of my favorite weapons. You get kind of used to how fast you gotta walk for it to shoot off a certain direction, and when you're not, there's a way you can get it to not shoot off to the side, but game exploits are cheap, so I try my best not to do them unless I'm like at 2 HP in a good match, which I don't want to die in, and I just want to have no shooting off to the side, I guess. I don't know what you call that. It's not quite recoil for the pulse cannon. It's like if you walk with that thing, it messes up your accuracy. Anyway, you see me with this out a lot. Whenever I've overheated my main weapon, I've got my pulse cannon out. If my pulse cannon card is charged, I use it. I keep it out. So DH-17, which some people will say is a gun that is considered cheap to use, you can see I'm obviously not using it as much as you think. Right here, as soon as that charged up, I kept it out. Still out. Still out. Haven't switched over. Once I use it, I go back to my main weapon. Wait for this to charge back up, and we'll see. I'm kind of recording audio over a certain clip, because I was too lazy to record during the thing. Let's look at that again. I'm gonna look at that again later because I wasn't paying attention. But I'm pretty sure as soon as that charged back up, I grabbed it back out. Let's watch it right here. It's almost there. Got about 4 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Wait for me to destroy that turret, because I mean, those things are mean little machines. Switched back over. Still have it out. You'll see me roll with it, and I'll roll and then use it. Look at that. Pure skill. No aimbot. Can't have aimbot on strike pack yet. No, don't take that the wrong way. They got the cargo there. No biggie. 7-3. We're obviously doing good. Some of their players started dropping out. I got 1 or 2 messages from people I'm not gonna name that did too good. So that's my general thought of modding and weapons, and considering people modders even though they aren't, or calling them out for using mods when they aren't using mods. There were no mods used at all in that gameplay. We won. Granted, I had some good people switched over to my team. If you look at the kills, I think there was 43, if I'm not mistaken. But that's about it. So I'll see you guys again, and we'll play scrims. I haven't been on for a while, but that's about it. That's all I have to say. Later.